Bread has always intrigued me, yet I never really dedicated much time to learning the skills necessary to be a good baker. This all ended when I retired. One of my first goals I set when I retired was to learn how to make a great loaf of sourdough bread. I'm Chef Michael Salmon. I've been working in professional kitchen since I was 15 years old. I would like to invite you into my kitchen as I prepare recipes from my 2 cookbooks and my European foodie trips to Italy, France, and Spain. So let's get into the kitchen. This is part 1 in a 3-part video series on sourdough bread making. In this video we will make the leaven, the dough, and I will take you through the process of bulk fermentation. In the next video, part 2, we will shape the dough, proof it, and bake the bread. And then in the final video of the series, part 3, we will go over inclusions, which are things like olives, cheese, nuts, grains, dried fruits, things that you add to the bread dough to take your sourdough to the next level. So let's get to the leaven. Today we're going to be making sourdough bread. We're going to start by taking some of my sourdough starter. And this is a starter I've had for about 6 months. I keep it in the refrigerator. I feed it once a week with flour and water and let it sit out for a few hours and then put it back in the refrigerator and it's ready to go until the next week. So we're going to take some of this sourdough starter and put it in a bowl. We need 30 grams total. So we're going to add to the 30 grams of starter 75 grams of water, lukewarm room temperature water. And then we're going to add also 75 grams of whole wheat flour. And this is a King Arthur whole wheat flour. And then we're just going to stir that to mix it together. And I'll actually be baking the bread tomorrow, making the bread tomorrow, the dough, and then we'll be baking it the next day. So I always make my leaven the day before. I make the dough, and then bake the bread the following day. So it's a 3-day process. Okay, so that's our leaven. So I'll just wrap that. I like to use these plastic, reusable plastic covers that I got on Amazon, and cover that and let that sit for overnight, usually 6 to 8 hours minimum. I like to make it the night before, just let it sit on the counter overnight, and then we'll make dough in the morning. Now it's on to the dough. So we're going to take our leaven. We have 180 grams of leaven that we made last night. Take that and I'm going to add that to the bowl. In case you're wondering, this is a Danish dough hook, which is terrific for making bread and doughs, batters. So to that, we're going to turn the scale on here. We're going to weigh out, we're going to add 900 grams of water. And this water is at room temperature. I'm going to take that and just stir that up real well. Distribute that leaven into the water. And we're going to add our flour. So I have a King Arthur all-purpose flour. And then we're going to add 930 grams of this. And this batch, this recipe makes 3 loaves, 3 750 gram loaves of sourdough bread. Okay, 930, perfect. And then we're also going to add some King Arthur whole wheat flour. So I'll tear that off. 240 grams of this for 3 loaves. So we're just going to take the Danish dough whisk and whisk that all together. Then we're going to let this sit for 20 minutes. And in that 20 minutes it will hydrate. The flour will absorb all that moisture and let that sit, and then we're going to add the salt. We have 24 grams of kosher salt to add. You don't have to work this much, just get it together, get all the dry ingredients incorporated. the dough whisk works great for this. Okay. Really easy to clean it off of there. And we'll just let that sit for 20 minutes and we'll add the salt. So the dough is rested for 20 minutes. Now it's time to add the salt. Pour that right on top of there, 24 grams of salt. And I'm just gonna take a bench or a plastic scraper and work that salt into the dough. And it's quite sticky right now, sticking to the bowl, but that's what you want. You want that to be like that. I'm just gonna empty it right out of the bowl here. See how sticky it is. It's sticking to the board. Okay, now that that salt is incorporated, I'm turn on our scale. And I've got these great 2-quart Cambro containers, which are perfect for this. And I'm gonna put that on the scale, tear that out. And this is gonna make 3 loaves, like I said before. This is, so it's 750 gram loaves. So I'm basically dividing this in 3. Okay, just gonna put covers on these. And now this is what's called bulk fermentation. So these will sit right on the counter here, and for the next 3.5 to 4 hours, we'll be stretching and folding them every 30 to 45 minutes. So in 30 minutes, we'll come back and I'll show you the stretch and fold technique. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes and it's time to do the stretch and fold technique. So what we're going to do, it's very simple. Just have a bowl of cold or room temperature water. And what you do is you're going to wet your hand, get in here, pull it up, stretch it down, turn it a little bit, stretch it again, stretch it again. And you'll notice that it's still kind of clumpy feeling. You'll feel the you know, bits of the dough that have kind of dried a little bit. And you'll see this, you'll notice it changing quite a bit as we work the dough. Okay, so just a few times, stretch and fold. Usually 3, 4, 5 times around is plenty, 5 or 6, just so every corner gets folded in. And we'll continue that for the next 3 hours, every 30 minutes, every 30 to 45 minutes. And this is the bulk fermentation stage. That's it, very simple. Set the alarm and we'll see you in 30 minutes. Okay, so we're ready for our 3rd turning. So we have the plain sourdough here. Getting much more elastic, much smoother as it's developing. Another plain one here. Then we have the olive and we have the mushroom, shallot, and parmesan. Okay, the olive. And the last one's the mushroom with shallots, roasted shallots, and Parmesan cheese. Continue the stretching and folding for 3.5 to 4 hours, and then the bulk fermentation stage will be complete. In the next video, part 2, we will shape the dough, proof it, and bake the bread. And then in the final video of the series, part 3, we will go over inclusions. Things that you add to the bread like olives, cheese, nuts, and grains. Things that take the bread to the next level. So look forward to seeing you on the next video. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and are inspired to recreate it at home. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below, and I would appreciate a thumbs up if you liked it. Comment below if you have any suggestions or requests for future videos. Check out my website at chefmichaelsalmon.com for recipes, my online store with links to my favorite tools and ingredients, and information on my 2 cookbooks.